Hey, everybody, and welcome back to our series on making your very own album covers for free, essentially. Very, 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 very low budget. So let's get right into it. One of the first sites that I always check whenever I want to make an album cover is Flirkr. We can't just go on Google image search and steal anyone else's intellectual property. We're going to do this the right way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Flirkr, and they have a section called the Commons. Now, this is very different from the Creative Commons licenses that you may be a little bit familiar with. The Commons is an area of Flirkr that contains all public domain images. And you don't have to be a copyright law expert, but the one thing to know here, essentially, public domain means that there's essentially no copyright. You can do whatever you want with the image. You're going to be looking at a lot of old images, but that doesn't mean that they're not cool. That's probably going to set your album cover apart from the rest of the pack. So what we want to do here, just go to Flirkr, type in anything into the search bar just to get to the next page of Flirkr, and scroll down to where it says the Commons, and then that will bring you to this page. Now, what you can do here is where it says the search bar, you can just type in anything that comes to mind, even a color, a place, and anything just to, familiarize yourself with it, just kind of see what comes up. The other way to search through this is going to participating institutions. This will bring up a list of every institution that has provided their images to Flirkr. And what we're looking at here is a lot of government agencies, a lot of libraries from all over the world. All this stuff is public domain. Take whatever you want from it. In a very rare case, you may find some rights reserved or something. So that's one thing just to keep an eye out for. So we're on the Flirkr Participating Institutions page, and let's scroll all the way down to the bottom left and go to the Library of Congress. Now, when you first bring this up, it's a lot of black and white images. At first, it might seem kind of boring to you, but remember that we're going to be running this through all kinds of apps. We're going to be glitching it out. We could be zooming in. Just really think outside the box. But if that looks boring, go ahead and click over to Albums. And then what we're going to see is a lot of stuff that's really starting to look cool. We see this Russian Empire in color that has a really unique color scheme at the very top. A lot of stuff from the 30s and 40s. There's different, picture frames, all kinds of crazy stuff. So just find anything that you think might have the potential to become an album cover. And also kind of keep in mind the long game here is that we're going to be running this stuff through a number of different filters and that kind of stuff. So the image could look absolutely nothing like what it starts out with. And also keep in mind that we're going to be adding text to this. So you want to find an image that already kind of naturally has some space to add text in later. So once you find a photo that you want to work with, just go ahead and click on it. And in the bottom right-hand corner, there's that little arrow, and then click that. And I usually just choose original. There's going to be a lot of different sizes for the image. And typically the original is going to give you the highest resolution photo that will then, that'll give you the most space to work with as you start running this through apps. So go ahead and choose the original. Now, aside from the Library of Congress, we're going to go back to the participating institutions. One thing I like is NASA. They have a ton of stuff, really old, images from astronauts from like the 60s and 70s, just a ton of stuff. The only thing I will say about Flirkr is that it can take some time to find something that is worthwhile, just because there is so much content here. And another thing to keep in mind, I mentioned about trying to leave space for text. Another thing is try to find something that matches your theme of the record or the theme of your band in the overall feel and aesthetic. And then whenever possible, try to use that maybe the same participating institution or the same color scheme or whatever from album to album or single to single, and that will really give you some cohesiveness throughout your body of work. So I think that just about wraps things up for the public domain area of Flirkr. Again, I'm trying to keep these videos as short as possible. I could probably go on for a lot longer within that. But for the next video, we're going to be taking a look at the other area of Flirkr, which is the Creative Commons licenses. So stay tuned, hit subscribe, and we will see you next time.